What's going on, everybody? This is Daniel Harms of the RGR Football Channel, film analyst here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the predicament facing the Kansas City Chiefs at 29-30 in the first round of this 2022 NFL Draft. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, hit the bell, and the sub notification will get you everything inside information on how and everything that comes in the RGR channel. Myself, Ryan, and the entire crew do every single week, so make sure you're in on that. This is an interesting spot for Kansas City. Two picks at 29 and 30 in the first round, a position that they've been in multiple times in having that end of the first round pick. And the smoke surrounding the Kansas City Chiefs to trade up for a Jamison Williams is starting to collect. It's starting to make an impression. People are talking about the Kansas City Chiefs being one of the more interesting teams in this draft. What are they going to do? Are they going to go get Jamison Williams to replace Tyreek Hill? Is it really a one-for-one swap? Like, are you chasing players in that regard and chasing speed and talent, trying to replicate what you had in Tyreek Hill? What's all this really mean? So we're going to talk a little bit about both sides, where I land and where I want you guys to do before we even get started in the comment section down below. Give me the scenario you prefer in the first round. Would you want to trade up? If you want to trade up, how far do you want to trade up? What player do you want? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those different things that I want you guys to tell me so we can have a nice encompassing conversation of lots of different opinions. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. The biggest thing we've heard is them going to get Jamison Williams. That's been the number one thing. So, how far do you have to go to get him? With the news that he's going to most likely be ready for opening day, opening week in the NFL season, with his recovery being the way that it is, I personally believe that he's propped himself up to being a possible option at 10 with the New York Jets. The way they were in on Tyreek Hill trying to trade for him, it seems to me they want to get a guy that's like that in terms of the deep speed, the suddenness, all of those attributes that help stretch the field, and pair him with a Corey Davis, who's more of a possession receiver, and an Elijah Mitchell, who's really useful in all facets of the game, and help them build that wide receiver roster out for Zach Wilson. I think he's an option at 10. I don't see him going further than 12, 13-ish. And those are both spots, 12 and 13, with defensive-minded teams in the Vikings and the Ravens. And those are spots maybe you can think about trading into, but I don't know if they want to go back that far. Again, it's down to 29 and 30. So it's really up to those teams and how they feel about that. But I don't see him getting outside there. I think he's going to be gone inside the top 13, in my opinion, 15 at the very, very, very latest, like realistically speaking. So that means that the Chiefs are going to have to give up both of these first-round draft picks, most likely to go get him if that's what you're trying to accomplish. And if you think like I do, if they think like I do, that he's a realistic possibility at 10, then they have to go into 9. That's going to cost more. From 29 into 9 into the top 10, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of draft capital. That's just how it is. That's the name of the game and going to get your guy. Does Jamison Williams, is how he plays, is what the Chiefs want in him worth going up into the top 10 to get? That's what they have to weigh. They have to weigh all of those things if that's going to be the case. Now, there's multiple scenarios. Do I think that they're going to get a corner? No, I don't think they're going to get a corner. I do think that defensive end is a possibility. Specifically because I think we're seeing some names start to go up a little bit. Trayvon Walker is now being talked about as the number 1 overall pick. That can change some things in terms of how players fall. Kayvon Thibodeau, maybe his fall is true. Maybe teams don't really think that he's that good of a worker, that hard of a worker, and wants to play football, which I think is for the most part pretty ridiculous, but that's my own opinion. Then there's Jermaine Johnson, a possible player in that 11-12 range. Are they going to go up? If they do go up and Jamison Williams not there, a defensive end's a possibility. But that's the high end, okay? I think those are the two spots we're talking about in terms of positions, the two positions that the Chiefs realistically go up that high to acquire. Players that can contribute this year, that they're going to be able to develop and really take a lot of assets and just try to get the most out of them that they can. But there's another trade-up scenario at 21 with the New England Patriots, who we all know have a history of trading back. They just got Devontae Parker. I think that their wide receiver need is still very much there, but do they want to draft one in the first round? And if they do, wouldn't they be more comfortable at the end of the first round, where Bill Belichick can say, "Hey, it was an end of the first round. It wasn't really that much of a big deal. We didn't have they're just not very good at drafting wide receivers anyway." So, 21 is a possibility. Say Chris Olave, they like Treylon Burks maybe Garrett Wilson, depending on how this shakes out. Some of those top guys start to fall. That's a position I can see the Chiefs trading up into, and it wouldn't cost both of your first round picks. 30 or 29, maybe you can squeeze a fourth, maybe your 103 back into the third round pick to go up to 21 to get your guy. Those are all realistic possibilities that I'm okay with. I'm pretty comfortable doing that. And then there's the other side. You stay where you are. You take those 6 picks in the top 3 rounds that you have in Kansas City, and you try to hit on as many players as you can inside those 3 rounds. Those are where the majority of the NFL starters come from. That's where the majority of the positional values, where the majority of the actual upside potential is in the draft. And in a down year in terms of draft projection to elite players, blue chip players, elite types, that kind of thing, I think it makes more prudent sense to take as many shots in this barrel that you get in those first 2 days and try to get as many positions as you can with players that not only can come in and actually be on the field, on the roster day one, but have not only have more potential to produce and become better with time and development. Those are things that the Chiefs desperately need. Defensive end, still linebacker, defensive tackle, cornerback, still a little bit of safety help. Every level of the defense needs injection of talent and youth, every single one of them. And this is how you can do that. They've given themselves enough ammunition to attack multiple spots and attack a lot of different needs in this draft. And so all of the talk about going up to get Jamison Williams, while it would make me happy on the inside to see him a Kansas City Chief, it wouldn't make a lot of prudent sense with all the different needs that they have. Now, could things change in the next week, 2.5 weeks? Definitely, for sure. And most likely will. Things like all of those things need changing. And we have seen a history of Kansas City taking these late first round picks and trying to trade them for proven players. That could happen. Do I see it this year? No, because of how they've looked at everything and tried to make things work. So I lean more towards taking dart throws in the first three rounds and trying to maximize that potential. That's where I stand. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion, but this is the predicament that the Chiefs find themselves in because they're going to be tempted to move up in this first round with the ammunition that they have. What is it going to happen? What's going to happen? How are they going to be able to handle the roster over the turnover roster that they have and be able to continue to compete in this loaded AFC? And how would the addition of one player in Jamison Williams, assuming he does come back fully healthy and is ready to start week one, how would that make them that much better with the current roster the way it is if it sacrifices some other positional needs? We don't really know. It's just a fun topic to talk about. And I do think, like I said, my opinion is to stay at 29 and 30, maybe go up to 21 if the opportunity presents itself in front of the Green Bay Packers to begin to try to finish this roster off with some players. Like I said, I think Andrew Booth is a guy who's going to be falling in this draft class, really a pedigree type of cornerback with the arm length, with the requisite athletic traits, still developing a little bit of the mental side, but all of those can be developed. Defensive end, corner, wide receiver, linebacker, defensive tackle, and safety are all huge needs, really even a backup tackle for maybe your future. Who knows what the Chiefs are going to end up doing at right tackle. So there's a lot of positions that need addressed in this draft class. With the way that they've handled free agency, it only makes sense that we see a lot of new youth and injection along this entire roster. So Like I said, I want you guys to tell me what you think is going to happen. I want to know all the possible outcomes, everything that you want to happen, the players that you want to see going in this draft. And then I want you guys to give me your most underrated possible pick for the Chiefs at 50. At 50. I want to see those in the comments as well. It's going to be a fun wind down all the way through draft until draft week. And I'm looking forward to it. This has been an awesome offseason. You guys have helped us grow so much. Please, if you are new, hit that like and the bell and the sub. And then make sure to tune in tomorrow. I will have a film review on Sam Williams, the defensive end out of Ole Miss. We're going to do that. And Thursday, you're going to have Ryan and Seth for the Chief in the North. You're still going to have everything else that we do every single day. And make sure to tune in this coming Sunday for another mock draft. Please, you guys have an absolutely fantastic day.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.